Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? My name's Linda. I'm your certified trauma recovery coach, and we're here this morning to take a good look at how to get out of bed on time. It was a question asked by one of our global community, and it's a very, very valid question for those of us with complex PTSD. For those who are here for the first time, welcome. It's wonderful to have you join our global family, and we really appreciate you. For those who come to class every morning as we go online, welcome. Let me know how you're going. Say good day in the comments. And if you're here for the replay, do a hashtag replay, because it's always good to know if you have questions too, because I'm always happy to answer as much as I possibly can to help you take your one next step. Okay, did we do the whole like and subscribe for everybody who is still living with silence? Okay, it's so important that not only do we want to get well for us, we want to be able to help other people, because the silence is a killer. Okay, one of the most massive parts of complex PTSD is the isolation. And isolating as an adult is not something that we want to do intentionally, but it's something that happens from the unconscious level because of how our brain's been wired. And we want to be able to stop that for ourselves, and we want to be able to have other adults know that they can reach out for connection. All right, so connection in a safe way is one of our first steps to taking a really healthy recovery forward. So that's why we do life in our proactive Facebook group in the way that we do, is because it's this beautiful safe environment where people can come and connect and know that they're safe to connect, and they can learn that they can begin to take hold, or not just take hold, but they can take charge of where they're going in their recovery journey, and understand that they can learn how to identify safe people for starters, and then so much more, because all of the complex trauma happened in relationship. So we need relationships in order to recover as well. Sometimes our first relationship is with our trauma coach or trauma therapist, and that's okay, because once we do that, we can begin to take even bigger steps. Now, today we're going to have a really good look at how to get out of bed on time, because it's a very, excuse me, I'm so excited today that I'm tripping over my words. Good morning, Laura. It's a really valid question about how to get out of bed on time, because so much happens for us that we need to break it down. Now, the first thing we want to do in working towards how to get out of bed on time, now remember, we're dealing with complex trauma, not, oh, it's okay, you've got a normal brain wiring, just get your act together. That doesn't work, and it's very cruel, to be honest. What we need is to understand the complex in the complex PTSD, so that we can begin to deal with just one factor at a time. So the first factor in how to get out of bed on time is to make sure that we've got an alarm set, and we've got a reasonable get out of bed time set as well. All right. So why do we want to do that when it seems like the normal thing to do? Because it's just our first step. All right. It's just one step. Now, when we wake up, we often feel absolutely horrid. Okay, depending on what stage of recovery you're in, it can feel like the hardest thing in the world to move my body, to take one step, and to get out of bed. All right. So what we want to be able to do is say, right, that's not happening for me, but I'm going to journal for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to journal what's stopping me, or how I feel when I wake up, so that I can begin to identify a pattern. Now, I really want you to talk to somebody about this pattern, because getting outside information around the pattern you can see, and sometimes if you're in dissociation, you can't see the pattern that's happening, But what you can do is sit with someone and say, these are all the ingredients. So these are the factors. Okay, we're not cooking a cake, but you understand what I mean. These are all the factors that are coming together that I can see over the last 2 weeks that are making it hard for me to take that one step out of bed. Now, I understand because I've been there. I've been there when it's been so hard that I was bedridden for 2.5 years, that it's so hard to even know how to begin to take that one step. Hence why it's really important to sit and have a conversation with someone saying, this is all the information I've gathered over the 2 weeks. Help me put the puzzle pieces together, okay? Now, this is meant to be funny, but it's also very valid, all right? So step 2 is recognizing our butt. Now, it's not our B-U-T-T, it's our B-U-T. It's our butt that happens that we need to recognize that happens the night before. What's my butt? So I've set my bedtime alarm. I'm working on my pattern about why it's so hard to get out of bed. But what's my butt? What's happening the night before that I'm going through this process where I don't put the phone down on time, I keep watching Netflix, I keep talking to friends. For me, it's I keep working. What's my butt? I need to be listening to my internal voice about why I'm saying, oh, but I'll just keep doing this for a bit longer. Oh, but yeah, I can get up tomorrow on 2 hours sleep. I can get up tomorrow on time on 2 hours sleep. Who are we kidding? Well, who am I kidding? I'm kidding myself. So I have to be willing to recognize my butt, all right? I won't go down that road any further. But we do. We say but. And once we can get hold of that but, we can start going to bed on time, which will help us get up on time, all right? Seems simple, but it's not. Because then we have to develop a nighttime routine that'll get us to bed on time, that'll get us up on time. See how it's not just cut and dried? Because when we start developing a nighttime routine, it changes all the emotions inside of us. It's change. And we have to have this really deep kindness for ourselves, that this is change and it's something I have to learn to manage, and then I have to feel safe. Now, when we start a nighttime routine, it's like, can you imagine going out into the jungle and you haven't got a compass, you haven't got a map, and you're standing there and you're going, which way do I go? Developing a new routine is like that. It's like, I haven't got the map in front of me. I haven't got a compass. I don't know how this is going to work. So what am I going to do? The most powerful thing that you can give yourself is a why. All right? Why am I going to do this? Now, giving yourself a why that's weak, which is, well, I just have to get out of bed on time. That's not very motivating at all, okay? That is not going to motivate you to do the hard work to stick to a nighttime routine, a nighttime bedtime so you can get up on time. It's not. You need a powerful why. What are you going to achieve? What's a long-term goal and a short-term goal that you are going to achieve by putting all of this into place? And if you're a mum or a caregiver and you've got kids, it's going to have to be a powerful why to help you have the discipline to say, right, no more buts. We're doing this, kids, all right? And what I used to say to my kids to get everything happening was, we're doing this together, all right? We have to do this together for a better outcome. So for me now, my current why is I want to be able to get up and exercise, do a meditation and a few other things before I do my Facebook Live. That's the short-term why. And the long-term why, which is only about I don't know, what are we in March? So about 7 months why. My why at the moment is a 7-month why. My why is because I want to go and visit my daughter without having to have a seatbelt extender. Okay? Now, on the plane, they only have seatbelts to a certain size. And I feel really uncomfortable, and I don't like people. I'm very self-conscious, okay, when I'm out in public. So I want to be able to just get on a plane like everybody else and sit there and just read or whatever I want to do without having to think that I've got to get the air hostess and say I need a seatbelt extender, okay? And there's a whole lot of range of emotions that go with that, which I can deal with, but I want to be able to get on that plane and not have to think about them, all right? I want to enjoy my trip. So that why is so powerful for me that I actually will put the phone down. I'll stop working. I'll stop talking to friends. I'll stop making plans for the next week, okay? Because it's so powerful that I know that if I get up on time, I get more done and I feel good. And feeling good, like this morning, I think it's my 3rd day in a row to do gym and trauma-informed movement. I woke up this morning after 4 hours sleep because I didn't apply my butt last night, and my butt and my why. And I went, I just felt so good this morning. I was like, I need to keep doing this, all right? So the why and the but are just at the beginning, but once you start doing it and you feel good, it's like, okay, let's keep this going. But then when you've got to keep it going, you've still got to apply your why. Because you feel good, you start to think, oh, it's okay, you'll be right. But no, I've learned over the last year, it's really, really important to keep my focus on the why so I recognise the buts, all right? Now, one of our greatest struggles is dissociation at bedtime. All right, so you've got to be willing to recognise if you're dissociating at bedtime. So if you go to bed and you're staring at the ceiling and your eyes just won't shut, but you know you're as tired as all get out, so you're mentally, emotionally, physically tired, then you want to look at, am I dissociating? All right, is dissociation happening for me right now? Because if it is, then that's the issue that's got to be addressed before you're going to be able to get out of bed on time. And it happens, all right? So one of the very first things that I started to do when I went to bed is breathe, all right? I taught myself to go to bed and have the discipline that for 1 minute every night I would do 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. We have a hard enough time consciously breathing because we actually unconsciously hold our breath a lot. This is what I've found. And so I would do it for 1 minute. And look, honestly, when we're doing things for ourselves, it felt like, why do I have to keep doing this? And I would just say, I don't know, I just got to keep doing this. I've got to go to bed and breathe. So what happened was, because I was doing it for 1 minute every night, then it felt good eventually. So I'd do it for 2 and so on. Now, there are some times that we are just in a state of dissociation that getting up and doing 10 minutes of trauma-informed movement will help us get back into our body, back into feeling how tired we are, all right? So reconnecting our brain and we can feel how tired we are. So then we are actually able to go to sleep. So really build into, if you're in a state of dissociation when you're going to bed, build into your day, your time, your nighttime routine, 10 minutes of trauma-informed movement before you go to bed, so that you're feeling all the tiredness that's happened from today and you can just go to sleep. I think back to the days when I used to go to bed and I'd lie there and I'd just be going over and over and over, like to-do lists, what I haven't done, what I need to do, and it was just like this endless cycle. You know how you get on a bicycle and it just goes round and round and round? That's what my brain was like. But I know now that it's part of complex PTSD So when I address it, I can just go to bed and go to sleep. All right. It sounds easy. It does take work, but it is worth it. And again, you come back to your why. Is it worth it for you to make this effort in order that you get to your why and you stop saying but? All right. You recognize that internal voice that's a but. That's a defense mechanism that's trying to keep you safe. All right. Doesn't work for long-term goals. Okay. So I want you to think about what's your why. Why would you put all of this routine into place, apart from the fact that your brain loves structure, all right, and our brain drives so much? What's your why? Why do you want to get well? What's your recovery goal, all right? And give it a time frame. And it carries you in and over and through. That probably came out in the wrong order, but it carries us through the hard times when it's hard to keep going and discipline ourselves and saying this is worth it. All right. Take all of this information. I've got not only this information but also a deeper explanation of the but and the why in an article in the free resources for you today, so that you can print it out, you can take it to your trauma coach or trauma therapist and you say, this is what I'm working on. This is what I need, and I need you to help me put strategies around it, because you need personalised strategies, not a, one size fits all. These are the elements that you need to look at, but you also need a personalised strategy so that you become the winner, all right, over time. You get to win, all right? Okay, thank you for all joining in this morning. I will get to your questions and comments down below, and I will answer them. And have the most gorgeous day. Remember, you are loved and you belong. Bye for now.